Humans, to quote your great Chicago suburban philosopher, Ferris Bueller, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. But fuck that guy. I wish I could skip high school, hack my attendance, steal a Ferrari, hijack the Von Steuben's Day parade, and get away with it. All despite it not even being Von Steuben's Day, which is typically on a Saturday, mid-September. And yeah, I know they shot the movie in September on Von Steuben's Day, but in the movie, canonically, it's spring and during a school day, which last I checked is never on a Saturday. That's like the whole point of Saturdays. But most impressive was Ferris Bueller's ability to pull off the fact that he was a high schooler. That's a grown-ass man. Matthew Broderick was 24 when they made that movie. But that's just how the other half lives. They can do whatever they want. Pay it forward, and you can convince you to say Dankeschön. They can change reality itself, because theirs is a long game, influencing generations by changing the now, which you're never really looking at because you got things to do, places to be, jobs to complete, and you got to do it on time because them's that pay you say so, which means you're never really looking at the now, which is always moving fast, so they're counting on you not stopping and looking around once in a while so that you do miss it. Not to get all Henry Ford about it, but ask yourself why Saturdays are even Saturdays at all. So really, I find Ferris Bueller's advice quite chilling. Was he canonically a child of privilege? Because he was canonically a child of privilege and wealth. Was he actually warning us, the working classes of America, that the rich control the culture? Sources say, shut up, Cameron, you're not dying. You just can't think of anything better to do. But life does move on, and before you know it, it's Monday, and you got to get back at it. We all got to be somewhere, and from the bird's eye's perspective up on the high wire, snacking and dropping hot dumps on your Subaru because freedom. I think you could use a walk. Walking! A hike, a jaunt, a saunter, a constitutional to get the mind right. One foot in front of the other. The majority of you bipedal hominids got to nail that out of the gate before you can even get to school. Even though crawling is more fun and better for your core. Just ask a puppy, or Wolverine, or Megan, the homicidal robot friend. Not like Megan. She's currently stuck in traffic right now because she's got a prescription, groceries, and a Kohl's return to get to before she gets her car detailed. And then she's going to be stranded at Roy's Auto Salon for a few hours, and there's nothing to do but wander Walgreens and crush lunch at Supreme Burrito. It's not a bad day, but it's a busy one. You've been ambulating since the old days, back when tetrapods got the idea to propel themselves out of the water. Your species got the memo, and then the inverted pendulum gait became one of the defining features of you humans as far back as 3 million years ago, judging by footprints found in Kenya. Why didn't you scramble like the chimpanzees? Because it's more energy efficient to walk like you got nowhere to be, even though you do. And who doesn't love being efficient? We birds get it. That's why we got cloacas. We go number 3. We evolved past the need to decide if we were going to rock a piss at a concert or risk a shit in the venue bathroom that looks like a punk rock vampire threw up in there. So just know, if you catch some 3 on your windshield, that's us reminding you, if you can be one thing, it's efficient. And it turns out, walking is good for you. And it's nice. So nice you even did it competitively. Pedestrianism, or competitive walking, has been around since the 19th century. Captain Robert Barclay Allardyce famously tramped 1 mile every hour for 1,000 hours, which he achieved between June 1st and July 12th, 1809, making him the celebrated pedestrian of Stonehaven. So the next time you get pissy because you have to walk half a block to get more beer because we're out, think about it like you're about to become the celebrated pedestrian of Montrose Avenue, because I'm not getting up. You owe me, Trent. Enjoy it is what I'm saying. Celebrate it. Indulge in all forms of forward or backward motion. Learn how to moonwalk. If you got it, flaunt it. And back in the day, you did it so much, it became illegal. So before the 1920s, your human city streets were considered public spaces, because why not? Open cobblestone, Belgian block lanes with horse carts and vendors and kids playing and mimes probably. Because if there's street food and people, your chances of encountering a mime dramatically increase. That's why I travel outside the art walk. I took a few evolutions for me to learn how to have a conversation. I'm not going back, mime! Get your own damn self out of that box! But there was a growing tension happening around then, because Henry Ford, the creator of Mondays, decided decided he was going to innovate because you humans love innovating. And the car was becoming pretty popular. And of course it was. And the privileged and the wealthy were making it a thing because they were the ones who could afford it. So basically, the Ferris Buellers were driving cars, but the majority of you peasants were walking. So those streets were still the domain of the pedestrian, strolling, airing, peregrinating the bricks, indulging in that which has set you apart from the chimps since the day. Yeah, you had places to be, but that was under your own steam, your own moves. Those were 99% your streets. But the cars were out there. And I don't know if you've ever been an early adopter, but you got to work out the bugs in real time. Namely, cars hit people. By the end of the 1920s, 250,000 children and adults were killed by cars in the U.S. alone. So yeah, it was an ish. Cars were considered nuisances. They called them pleasure cars, and they were kind of like the Lux yachts of the time. So Lux and new that if and when there were collisions, judges typically ruled that it was just the bigger car's fault. No nuance. That is how the other half lives. This wasn't new, though. Once the trolley took over in the late 1800s in Brooklyn, so many pedestrians were trying to jump out of the way that the Brooklyn Bridegrooms, a.k.a. the Grays, changed their name to the Brooklyn Trolley Dodgers, which would eventually move to L.A., and then the Dodgers would beat the fucking Yankees and win the World Series last week. I mean, history's not all bad. But back to the shitty part. Back in the 1911s, crosswalks were established. And then in the 1912s, Kansas City started passing ordinances against pedestrians for not crossing the crosswalks, labeling them jaywalkers. Because back in the day, jay meant rube or rustic or unrefined. Basically, you're fucking trash, poor. Get out of the street. And it caught on. And in 1923, 42,000 Cincinnati residents signed a petition for a ballot initiative that would require all cars to have a governor installed in them, limiting them to 25 miles an hour. And I can already hear your buttholes clenching. If you can't hear the collective sphincter retention of generations of Americans, even now, when you mention any kind of regulations on cars, then you've never been on TikTok. Fuck your Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. I don't care if it can do 0 to 60 in 3.3. It's got shitty gas mileage, and it's a waste of fucking money, and you're proving my point. So yeah. Naturally, any speed governance pushed the pedal for the automotive industry, and they decided they were going to go to the mat. Not to mention, at the time, Andrew Mellon, Secretary of Treasury in America, lowered the top marginal tax rate from 77% to 24%, which was the new hotness. So by the time y'all will get to 1928, 23.9% of all pre-tax income channeled to the top 1% of families. Sound familiar? Yeah, don't forget to fucking vote. So now, the streets were for the rich and the automotive. Herbert Hoover, who was the Secretary of Commerce at the time, took meetings controlled by the automotive groups to create traffic laws, creating the Model Municipal Traffic Ordinance. AAA started sponsoring safety campaigns. E.B. Lefferts, which was the head of the Automotive Club of Southern California, said, quote, "The ridicule of their fellow citizens is far more effective than any other means which might be adopted. Yada, yada, jaywalking becomes illegal. The cars ruled the streets because the 1% says so. And that is why now you can get a $250 fine for crossing against the light in L.A., peasant. Get out of the road. This is the land of APR financing and hot fucking rubber. Suck it, organic life. Sniff the exhaust and hear that shit rev." Until now. Legislation passed by the City Council in New York City became the law this weekend, which, quote, permits pedestrians to cross a roadway at any point, including outside of a crosswalk. It also allows for crossing against traffic signals and specifically states that doing so is no longer a violation of the city's administrative code. And sure, that's New York City, but other cities will follow. But whatever, it's too fucking late. The damage is done because you chose the car. Could have been you regulated the shit out of cars so that the streets truly belong to the pedestrians. But instead, thanks to a shame campaign in the 1900s, you can't even walk across the street until the light changes. Which, by the way, 9% of crosswalk buttons in New York City do nothing. It's a lie. Out of the two societal options, driving or walking, you chose the car? Driving in your society, humans, is an exercise in patience that would make a Buddhist drop the act to toss chairs. I don't care how much you got on the fucking hood. You're not good at driving. The car has been around for almost a fucking 100 years. You still can't navigate a stop sign. You think it's a suggestion. God help you if there's 4. Also, those flashing red lights, what do? Do you go? Do you wait? Do you stop, start, back and forth, humping the crosswalk like your Kia Seltos is a horny schnauzer? Oh no, go ahead. Lay on your horn. That's helpful. That'll turn down the temperature of the situation. Why not just scream out the window? You're already having a nervous breakdown, but no, just lay on that honker until a goose wanders over, wondering if you're mad or just down to fuck. Oh, but you figured out how to skirt traffic by cruising into the shoulder. Congrats, genius. You cracked the code. Good luck trying to get back into the flow. Now you fucked up the entire commute all the way back to Skokie. That's on you. But no, go ahead. Rev your Elantra like it's a Challenger. Congrats. You've bamboozled us all into thinking you're packing. You might as well have them spray a thick-ass cock on your door, strap on some football pads, set your fucking Mitsubishi Mirage on fire, crank your nitrous, and drive off a cliff like Cameron's dad's Ferrari out of glass garage into the ravine screaming, "Witness me!" Out of the driver's side window, you still haven't fixed yet, but I get it. You gotta be somewhere. You got to get in the left lane, get around life. At least you stop punishing humans for exercising their natural need for bipedal pedestrian motion. That's a step in the right direction. I'm just hoping, humans, you slow down. Take it in. Because life moves fast. And some of us are walking here. I love you. Good night.
Hell yeah.
Nailed it.